Welcome everyone. In this video, let us discuss about NEET 2022 biology paper. This exam has been conducted in the month of July on 17th, and the analysis I'm doing for the code R6 paper. Now this analysis which will help you to analyze, to understand what is the importance of NCERT textbook, in which manner you have to read NCERT textbook, and let us see the weightage also, from which chapter how many questions came, from exemplar textbook how many questions came, all that I have written here. Let us start the lecture. Now the examination has been conducted on July 17th. The code what we are doing the analysis is R6 code. Total number of questions are 100 questions for biology, out of which from 11th NCERT they have asked 52 questions, and from 12th NCERT they have asked 48 questions out of 100. How many questions came out of NCERT means absolutely zero. Not even one question went out of NCERT. So it tells that no need to study any other material thoroughly. If we study the two NCERT textbooks, 11th NCERT textbook and 12th NCERT textbook, 360 marks we are going to get easily. Now then, statement based questions, statement 1 and statement 2 based questions, how many came means 11 questions out of 100. Assertion reason questions, earlier in NEET examination assertion reason questions were not there, but since from 2021 they have removed JIPMER examination and AIMS examination, so they are introducing AIMS pattern questions also into NEET examination. So we can see that how many assertion and reason based questions came means 4 questions out of 100. Match the following type questions, match the following A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, A is 1, B is 2, match the following questions. 5 questions came out of 100. New pattern questions, the new pattern questions in which many statements will be there, A, B, C, D, E, F. How many are correct? We need to identify. A, B, C is correct, A, B, C, D is correct, like that we need to identify. Now this is a place where students have consumed most of the time, and then they felt it a little difficult because time management became difficult for them. So such type of questions, how many came? New pattern, multiple statement based questions, 10 questions came out of 100. Numerical based, calculation based questions, 8 questions came out of 100. Diagram based questions, there's only one question which is diagram based question. And NCERT exemplar book, the way we study NCERT textbook, in the same manner there's another book which is called as NCERT exemplar. These books are separate for 11th NCERT and 12th NCERT. Now this book contains government prescribed MCQs, government prescribed very short answers and long answers. From those NCERT exemplar textbook, straight how many questions has been asked means 8 questions out of 100. 8 questions out of 100 they are asked from exemplar book. And previous year repeated questions, how many came from the previous year means 6 questions out of 100 came from previous year papers. So now you understood that you have to solve all the previous year papers, and at the same time we have to solve NCERT exemplar questions also, and then we need to carefully look into the diagrams and labelings, numerical and calculation based, but then all the calculations are there in the NCERT textbook itself. You need not sit and do numericals plus additions, minus and subtractions. The value which is there in NCERT, that value only they have asked you. Numerical based 8 questions came. New pattern means this is a time consuming part, and here they're checking you the accuracy, means even if you don't know one statement also you can't reach the answer. So new pattern, multiple based questions 10 came. Match the followings, these are easy, 5 questions came. Assertion reasons, students find difficulty because they have to tell whether the reason is a correct explanation or not. Such type of questions 4 questions came. Statement based questions 11 questions came. So take a screenshot, then we will discuss chapter wise weightage, how many questions came in the NEET examination. For the R6 code from 11th NCERT, how many questions came means altogether 52 questions came, and this is the distribution they have gone. For from chapter 1 living world, 1 question. In R6 it is in question number 177. Chapter 2 biological classification, again there is 1 question, and this is a question number 200. Chapter 3 from plant kingdom, 3 questions has been asked, so these are the question numbers. Chapter 4 animal kingdom, 2 questions has been asked, these are the question numbers. Morphology, 3 questions have been asked from this chapter, these are the question numbers. Again from anatomy, 3 questions. Structural organization of animals, 4 questions. Means only from this chapter of 11th standard they have asked 4 questions. Means structural organization is a high weightage chapter. This is a high weightage chapter since they have asked 4 questions from this chapter. Cell, the unit of life, 3 questions. From biomolecules, again 3 questions. From cell division, again 4 questions. Means cell division is also a high weightage chapter. Then transport in plants, plant physiology, unit number 4, plant transport in plants, 3 questions. These are the question numbers for R6 paper. Mineral nutrition, 2 questions. These are the question numbers. From photosynthesis, 3 questions. From respiration chapter, 2 questions. From plant growth and development, 3 questions. Human physiology, digestion chapter, 3 questions have been asked. In breathing chapter, from breathing chapter only 1 question, question number 176. Now coming to circulation, chapter 18 circulation, 3 questions has been asked. From excretion chapter, 1 question has been asked. From locomotion and movement, 2 questions has been asked. From neural control and coordination, 1 question, that's question number 194. And chemical control and coordination, only 1 question has been asked. And if you count all these questions altogether, there are 52 questions from 11th NCERT textbook. Take a screenshot, then in the same manner we will look into the 12th NCERT also. From 12th NCERT, 48 questions have been asked. From chapter 1, reproduction organism, 1 question has been asked. In R6 paper, it's in question number 155. From second chapter, sexual reproduction in flowering plants, 3 questions have been asked. Human reproduction, 3 questions. Reproductive health, 2 questions. Principles of inheritance and variation, 6 questions has been asked. Means this chapter is high weightage chapter. 6 questions have been asked in R6 code. So these are the question numbers. Molecular biology, molecular basis, 7 questions have been asked. Means this is also again an important topic chapter. 7 questions have been asked. These are the question numbers. Now evolution, only 2 questions have been asked. Microbes in human welfare, only 1 question has been asked. Human health and diseases, 2 questions. Strategies for enhancement of food production, 1 question only. Biotechnology, principles and processes, 5 questions have been asked. Means again this chapter is high weightage chapter we have to consider. Biotechnology and its applications, only 3 questions have been asked. Last unit, 10th unit, ecosystem, organisms and population, biodiversity conservation and environmental issues. From each chapter, 3 questions have been asked, and if we count all together, there are 48 questions. Now you understood from which chapter how many questions came. Now let's get into the questions and see the solutions for them. Take a screenshot of this. The first question I have taken is from chapter wise. We will go with the analysis. Chapter 1, living world in 11th NCERT, 1 question has been asked. The question is, in the taxonomic categories, which hierarchy arrangement is in ascending order? In the case of animals, they are asking. So in animals, what is a hierarchy of arrangement? Arrange them in ascending order. So they have given 4 options here. We need to pick the correct order. So if we see the options here, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. So these are the taxons which are in correct order. So the answer goes as 2. The solution is answer 2. Now this is there in NCERT page number 10, figure number 1.1. From this figure they have given this concept. Now how to memorize this kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus and species? I made a code here. The code is keep pots clean or family gets sick. Keep is for kingdom, pots is for phylum, clean is for class, or is order, family stays the same family, gets is for genus, and sick is for species. So keep pots clean or family gets sick. Keep pots clean or family get sick. So this is the answer here. So take a screenshot. We'll go into the second question. Second question is from biological classification. There's only 1 question from biological classification. It is question number 200. Now the question is, which of the following statement is correct? They have given 4 options. You have to pick the correct option. The first option is mycoplasmas have DNA. Ribosomes and cell wall. Mycoplasmas have DNA, till there it is correct. Have ribosomes, they have ribosomes, but they don't have cell wall. Since they don't have cell wall, this statement went wrong. Then second one, cyanobacteria are a group of autotrophic organisms. They are classified under Monera. Cyanobacteria, blue-green algae are kept under Monera. That means this statement is correct. Now bacteria are exclusively heterotrophic. Bacteria are majorly heterotrophic. Most of them are heterotrophic. Doesn't mean that all the bacteria are heterotrophic. So then this statement goes wrong. Fourth statement, slime molds are saprophytic and are classified under Monera. Slime molds are saprophytic, till here it is correct, but they are classified under Protista. They gave Monera, so this statement goes wrong. And if you want to check, this statement is there in NCERT page number 20 and 21. This statement is in NCERT page number 20, as well as this question is exemplar question. And this statement is in page number 19 of NCERT, and this statement is in page number 19 of NCERT, as well as it's an exemplar question. So two exemplar questions have been touched through this question. So the right answer is cyanobacteria. They come under autotrophic organisms and they're classified under Monera. Now coming to the third chapter, plant kingdom, there are three questions from this chapter. The first question is question number 104 in R6 code. In R6 code, the question is hydrocolloid carrageenan is obtained from. Hydrocolloid, water holding substance, hydrocolloid carrageenan is obtained from. They have given the options as Phaeophyceae, brown algae only. Second option, green algae and brown algae. Third option, brown algae and red algae. Fourth option, Rhodophyceae, means red algae only. See, carrageenan is obtained from red algae only. And algin is there, which is another phycocolloid, is extracted from brown algae, Phaeophyceae. So carrageenan, if they are asking, the answer is option 4. And this question is a repeated question. This has been asked in last year NEET examination also, NEET 2021 examination also. Take a screenshot. We will discuss the next question, question number 4. 4 is from plant kingdom. Which of the following is incorrectly matched? Now if you see volvox, which is green algae, the reserve food material is starch, so it's correct. Second option, ectocarpus, which is brown algae. In brown algae, the reserve food material is fucoxanthin, correct. Now coming to Elothrix. Elothrix is green algae. In green algae, the reserve food material should be starch, but they have given mannitol. They asked you the incorrect statement, so 3 is incorrect option. Porphyra, red algae. In red algae, the reserve food material is Floridian starch. So the answer which they have asked incorrect is Elothrix. And this concept is there in NCERT textbook page number 33. Coming to the next question from plant kingdom, they are asking you to match the life cycles. They have given A, B, C, D. A is Spirogyra, which is algae. B is fern, which is a pteridophyte. C is Funaria, moss, which is a bryophyte. Cycas comes under gymnosperm. Now if you go with Spirogyra, which is algae, algae exhibits haplontic life cycle. Haplontic life cycle means the plant body is gametophyte, it is free living. So check that option. Spirogyra, they have free living gametophyte and it's dominant. So Spirogyra, dominant, yes, haploid, free living gametophyte. So A should be 2. Now fern, pteridophytes. In pteridophytes, the life cycle is haplodiplontic. The plant body is sporophyte. It makes spores. The spore on germination will form heart-shaped prothallus. So prothallus is a hint for you to reach the fern. Fern, if you see, the plant body is sporophyte. It is dominant, it is diploid, it is sporophyte. It alters with reduced gametophyte, which is called heart-shaped prothallus. So B should go with 2. Then Funaria, moss, which comes under bryophyte. In bryophyte, we have to go with, C is 4. In bryophyte, it is haplodiplontic life cycle. Means the plant body is gametophyte. The sporophyte has foot, seta and capsule. They're dependent on the gametophyte. In NCERT diagram, they have given us the gametophyte is a leafy stage, is having rhizoids, colloids and phylloids. And the sporophyte has foot, seta and capsule, which are partially dependent. So for Funaria, this is an option. And Cycas is a gymnosperm. Gymnosperms and angiosperms will exhibit diplontic life cycle. Diplontic life cycle means the dominant diploid sporophytic stage is there, and Cycas is a vascular plant, and since it is diplontic, the gametophytic stage is reduced. So A with 2, A is with 2 and B is with 3. Fineria we have to go with 4, yeah, because leafy stage it is. And Cycas dominant diploid. So this is the answer. So the answer is 3, third option. I've written the third option here, and this concept is in the ending of the chapter. It's there in NCERT page number 42. It is understanding based concept. Straight lines are not there. Take a screenshot. We'll go to the next question. Question number 6 is from Animal Kingdom. There are 2 questions from Animal Kingdom chapter. The first question is assertion reason based. Assertion they have given like all vertebrates are chordates. All vertebrates they come under chordata only. Chordates are divided into urochordata, cephalochordata, vertebrata. Means all vertebrates are chordates. But all chordates are not vertebrates. Yes, all chordates will not have vertebral column. That means they are not chordates. Means assertion is correct. Now reason. Notochord is replaced by vertebral column in vertebrates. Notochord is replaced by vertebral column in vertebrates. That is why they are vertebrates. So this is a explanation. All vertebrates are chordates. They come under chordata. They have notochord. Now all chordates are not vertebrates. Urochordata, cephalochordata, vertebral column will not be there. Notochord will be there. So that is why that is correct, and this is a correct explanation. So option 2 has both assertion reason are correct and reason is a correct explanation. This concept is picked from NCERT page number 55. The second question from Animal Kingdom is in which of the following animals the digestive system has an additional chambers like crop and gizzard, they're asking. Now aves, birds will have additional chambers called crop and gizzards. So in the given option you have to pick those examples where birds are there. Come on, pavo comes under peacock. Psittacula is parrot. Corvus is crow. So all 3 are birds. So I'm going with option 1. If you go here, Corvus is crow, Columba is a pigeon. This is also a bird only, but chameleon, it is not a bird. So this goes wrong. Now buffo, Balanoptera, Bangerus is a reptile, so this is wrong. Then Cutla is a reptile, so this also goes wrong. So the answer is first option only. This is there in NCERT page number 59. Now coming to the next question, question number 8. It's from Morphology of Flowering Plants. From Morphology chapter 3 questions have been asked. Question number 8. In R6 code, it is in question number 109. They are asking you zygomorphic class. Actinomorphic, zygomorphic and asymmetric. 3 types of flowers are there. For asymmetric, the examples is Kana. For zygomorphic means it is bilateral symmetry. Example for bilateral symmetry are pea, bean, cassia and gulmohar. Pea, bean, cassia and gulmohar. So gulmohar I've located. Cassia I located. So mustard is actinomorphic, it's not zygomorphic. Datura is again actinomorphic. Chili is again actinomorphic. So the code is actinomorphic. A, B, C, D. A, actinomorphic example is brassica, means mustard. C for chili, D for datura. So these 3 options are actinomorphic, whereas zygomorphic, bilateral symmetry, I have taken examples of pea, bean, cassia, gulmohar. So the answer should be B and C. So B and C, where do we have? We have it in option 3. Cassia and gulmohar. So the solution here is option 3, and this concept is there in NCERT page number 72. Take a screenshot. We'll go to the next question. 9th question is from Morphology of Flowering Plants. It is question number 123 in R6 code. Identify the correct set of statements they have asked. So these are called multiple statements questions, so which have consumed time in the NEET examination for students. So they have given A, B, C, D, E. You need to pick the correct set of statements which are correct. Let's go. The first statement, the leaflets are modified into pointed thorns in citrus and bougainvillea. In citrus and bougainvillea, it is stem, it's not the leaflet. So it's not the leaflet, this is wrong. Second option, axillary buds are slender and spirally coiled like tendrils in cucumber and pumpkin. Yes, it's the axillary bud only which is modified into tendril and gives support. So this is correct stem modification. The stem is flattened and fleshy in desert plants, cactus opentia, and the stem is flattened. Yeah, it is flattened and it is fleshy in opentia, and since the leaves are modified into spines, the stem appears like a leaf to do photosynthesis. Yes, it says the same, so this is also correct. Now, mangrove plants like Rhizophora, Avicennia, now they grow in waterlogged soils. So waterlogged soils, oxygen will not be there in the soil. So that's why the roots will prop up, they'll come up. They're called respiratory roots. So Rhizophora, the roots are coming upside for respiration. Yes, it is also correct. Last option, subaerially growing stems in grasses. Grasses comes under runners. Grasses, strawberry comes under runners. They run on the soil, and wherever the node touches the soil, they make their own roots. They help in vegetative propagation. Yes, this is also correct. So A is wrong, B, C, D, E are correct. So where is that? B, C, D, E are correct. Answer 4. And all these are coming under stem modifications. This is subaerial stem modification. This is root modification. These two are stem modifications. This is also stem, but they gave leaves, so it went wrong. So all these are there in NCERT page number 67 and 68. Take a screenshot. 10th question from Morphology of Flowering chapter. They have asked, in which flower vexillary estivation is there and diadelphous stamens are there. Vexillary estivation is called papillonaceous estivation. One standard petal will be there. The standard petal will enclose the wings, and the wings will enclose the keel, right? It's a characteristics of Fabaceae family. And diadelphous stamens means 9 stamens under one bundle and 1 stamen. That's also characteristic of Fabaceae family. So let us look at the options. Solanum, Solanaceae family. Colchicum autumnale, Solanaceae family. So these two are wrong. Allium cepa, Liliaceae family. This is also not Fabaceae. Third option, Pisum sativum, is a Fabaceae member. So the answer is option 3. This is there in NCERT page number 79. Now coming to chapter 6, Anatomy of Flowering Plants, there are 3 questions in this chapter. Question number 11 in R6 code, that's in question number 105, they have given 5 statements and they are asking us to pick the correct statements. So the first option, in roots, xylem and phloem are arranged in different radii. Roots will have radial vascular bundles. So xylem on different radii, phloem on different radii. So correct. Now, conjoint closed vascular bundles. In monocot stem, conjoint closed vascular bundles will be there. So will not have cambium. Since they are not having cambium, they don't exhibit secondary growth. Conjoint closed vascular bundles do not possess cambium. Yes, they don't possess cambium. So correct. Third option, C. In open vascular bundles, cambium is present between xylem and phloem. In closed, no cambium means in open, cambium is present. So this is also correct. Now fourth option, in vascular bundles of dicot stems. In vascular bundles of dicot stems, the protoxylem exhibits endark condition. Endark condition means protoxylem in, metaxylem out. Yes, roots will exhibit XR condition protoxylem and dicot stem will exhibit endark condition of protoxylem. Correct. Now fifth option, in monocot root. Monocot root has polyarch condition, more than 6 xylems and 6 phloems. In monocot root, there are more than 6 xylem bundles present. That's called polyarch condition. So this is also correct. But then when you look into the options, they're asking you A, C, D, E only na, B, C, D, E only na, A, B, D only na, A, B, C and D only na. But as we saw here, A, B, C, D, E all are correct. That means there's an ambiguity in this question. So we are waiting for the NTA key and they have to give add score for this question since all 5 are correct here. So you can mark this is also correct. You can mark this is also correct. You can mark this and this is also correct. So then left with no option, they have to give add score, and this concept is there in page number 90 in NCERT. Take a screenshot. We'll go on to the next question. Question number 12, it's from Anatomy of Flowering Plants. The question is, in older trees, the greater part of the secondary xylem will be dark brown and it is resistant to the insect attack. It is heartwood. It is resistant. It's called duramen. Why is it so? They are asking. They have given the options. We need to choose the correct set of options. So, heartwood. Secondary xylem, it is dark brown because of secretion of secondary metabolites and their depositions in the lumen of the vessels. Yes, it deposits the secondary metabolites in the lumen of the vessels. That's why it is dark brown. NCERT says this is correct. and not only that, it deposits organic substances like tannins and resins, whereas lumen is in the center of the vessel, right? So it deposits those secondary metabolites in the center. So center layer of the stem. Would mean stem only. This is also correct. So they are telling the third option, it deposits suberin. Suberin depositions are not found in xylem, and in the outer layers they are telling it's in the inner layer, right? Outer layer goes wrong. And same way, deposition of gum, resins and aromatic substances in the peripheral layer, outer layer. So both are wrong. And presence of parenchyma cells, secondary wood means it's a dead tissue, vessel is a dead tissue, parenchyma is a living tissue. So this presence of parenchyma goes wrong. So I have gone A and B as correct options. So the solution is 2 because A and B are correct. And this statement comes in Heartwood and Sapwood in NCERT page number 96. Now next question from Anatomy of Flowering chapter, question number 13 for us. In R6 code it is 138. The question is, the springwood has certain peculiar features. So identify the features of springwood they are asking. Again they have given A, B, C, D, E. Springwood is also called early wood. Yes, springwood is called as early wood and autumnwood is called as late wood. So here A is correct. Now in spring season, cambium produces xylem of narrow vessels. If it is active, will it produce narrow or wider? I will tell it produces wider. So that means this goes wrong. Then it is lighter in color. Since it produces big things, they are packed less, means the weight will be less only. Springwood will be light in color. The springwood and autumnwood alternately they'll make an annual ring. So this is also correct. Then because it in the given space, big vessels will occupy less only, so they'll be light in color and they'll be of low density also. Springwood is of low density. Springwood and autumnwood will make an annual ring. Springwood produces, it is lighter in color, and in spring season cambium produces xylem with narrow vessels. So this is wrong. So I'm going with A, C, D, E. A, C, D, E. It's also called early wood. A, C, D, E. 3 is a correct answer here. Now take a screenshot. This is there in page number NCERT. We will look into the next question. Number 14 is from structural organization in animals. The question is, which of the following is present between the adjacent bones in the vertebral column? In between one vertebrae to other vertebrae, which tissue is present? Is it smooth muscle, intercalated discs, cartilage or areolar tissue? Intercalated discs are present in heart muscles, right? They're present in cardiac muscles. So this is wrong. Muscle will not be there in the bone. So this is also wrong. It is cartilage which will give the flexibility to bend. So the answer is cartilage. Option 3 is answer. It's there in NCERT page number 104. Now next question, question number 15 in R6 code, it's question number 161. Which of the following is not a connective tissue? It is not a connective tissue. Neuroglia, adipose tissue, blood and cartilage. So blood, bone, cartilage, adipose tissue are examples of connective tissue. Neuroglia is a neural tissue. It's not a connective tissue. So the answer is 1. Option 1 is there in NCERT page number 104. And this is an exemplar question also. Now coming to the 16th question, tegmina of cockroach arises from. Cockroach has 2 pairs of wings. The first pair of wings are called as tegmina and the second wings are called as flying wings. Tegmina arises from mesothorax, they have given in NCERT, and the second pair of wings, flying wings, arises from metathorax. They asked, tegmina arises from. The answer is mesothorax. So the option 3 is the answer. Is there in NCERT page number 112. Next question, match the following. Bronchioles have which type of tissue? Goblet cells, which type of tissue? Tendons and adipose tissue, which type of tissue? Bronchioles for passage of air, for the movement of air, ciliated epithelium. So bronchioles with ciliated epithelium. Goblet cells, the secret mucus, means they are glandular. Now coming to tendons. Tendons comes under dense regular connective tissue, whereas adipose tissue comes under loose connective tissue. Adipose tissue comes under loose connective tissue. Tendon comes under dense regular connective tissue. Goblet cells are glandular cells. They secrete mucus. Bronchioles, they have ciliated epithelium for the movement of the air. So in the question paper, option 2 has these matching options. This is there in NCERT, page number 103. Now the next chapter is cell, the unit of life, from where 3 questions have been asked. Let's go to question number 18. They're asking you which is incorrect statement for endoplasmic reticulum. SER is site of lipid synthesis. Yes, SER is site of lipid synthesis, correct. RER has ribosomes attached to ER, that is why it's called rough endoplasmic reticulum. Statement 1, correct. Next option, correct. SER is devoid of ribosomes. RER is having ribosomes, so it's rough in appearance. SER will not have ribosomes, so it is devoid of ribosomes, is also correct. In prokaryotes, only RER is present, or both RER and SER are present. Both are present. So they have given only RER is present, goes wrong. So they asked you the incorrect statement. Option 4 is incorrect. This is there in NCERT, page number 133. Have a screenshot. We'll discuss the next question. 19 from cell chapter, it's related to the shapes of the chromosomes. They have given what is metacentric, what is acrocentric, what is submetacentric, and what is telocentric. In metacentric, the centromere will be at the center with 2 equal chromatids, right? So centromere is in the middle forming 2 equal chromatids, is metacentric. Now in submetacentric, the centromere is slightly away from the center with slightly bigger arm and one slightly shorter arm. So that means in submetacentric, it is slightly away from the center. Next one is acrocentric. In acrocentric, centromere is far away from the center with one very big arm and one very short arm. So acrocentric, the centromere is situated close to the end, forming one very extremely short arm and one a very long arm. Last one is telocentric. In telocentric, the centromere is at the tip. Only one chromatid will be there. The other chromatid is missing. So according to this, the answer A goes with 3 and B, acrocentric, is 1 and submetacentric is 4. Telocentric, D, is 2. So option 2 is answer. This is there in the last page of cell biology chapter, page number 139 in NCERT. Next question is statement based question. Mycoplasmas, the size they have given about mycoplasmas in NCERT. So mycoplasmas are 0.3 micrometers. Since they are 0.3 micrometers, they can pass through the filter which is 1 micron. So the statement 1 is correct. Statement 2, mycoplasmas are bacteria with cell wall. Mycoplasmas are naked. They don't have cell walls. They're the smallest prokaryotes without cell wall, right? But then they told it has cell wall. So this is wrong. So means statement 1 is correct, 2 is wrong. Means solution answer 4 is correct. This content is there in NCERT, page number 126. Coming to the next chapter, biomolecules, question number 21. The question is exoskeleton of arthropods is composed of. Arthropods, insects, they have exoskeleton made up of chitin. So glucosamine, cutin, cellulose, chitin. The answer is chitin. So solution option 4. This is there in NCERT, page number 149. Take a screenshot. We'll get into the next question. Question number 22. It's again from biomolecules. In R6 code, it is question number 143. The question is select the correct statements about lipids. First, A, they have given lecithin is found in plasma membrane and is a glycolipid. Plasma membrane is made up of phospholipids. Lecithin is found in plasma membrane, but it's a phospholipid. Since they're telling it is glycolipid, it is wrong. Second option, B, saturated fatty acids will have one or more double bonds. Saturated fatty acids will not have double bonds. Unsaturated fatty acids will have double bonds. So this also is wrong. So C, gingerly oil has low melting point. Fats will have high melting point. Oils will have low melting point. Gingerly oil has low melting point and remains oil in winter. In summer, winter, it's oil only. Whereas fats in winter season, they become fat, they become solid. So this is correct. It has low melting point and it is oil in winter season. Next statement, lipids are insoluble in water. Lipids are non-polar, so that means they are insoluble in water. If they are insoluble in water, then they're soluble in organic solvents. They are soluble in organic solvents. So again, this is correct. Next statement. When fatty acids are esterified to glycerol, monoglycerides are formed. To glycerol, when fatty acids go and join and they make an ester bond, monoglyceride, diglyceride, triglycerides are formed. Fatty acids are esterified to glycerol to make monoglycerides. Yes, this is also correct. Now, where do you find all this content means in NCERT, page number 144, there's a para about lipids. From there, they have taken all these points. Now, come on, pick the answer. A and B are wrong. C, D, E are correct. So, the answer is 4. C, D, E are correct. That's it. Now let's go to the next question. Question number 23 in R6 code. It's in question number 199. It's match the following question. So A, B, C, D, you have to match it 1, 2, 3, 4. Glycogen is a reserve food material. It's a storage product, right? So glycogen is a storage product. And then if you go with steroids are hormones. And thrombin, so what is thrombin? Thrombin helps in blood clotting, means it acts as a biocatalyst. And globulin, immunoglobulins, they are antibodies. So this is the match when we check for the options. Option 1 is correct. A with 4, B with 3, yeah, C with option 1, A with 4, B with 3, C with 1. Yeah, this is steroid is hormone and thrombin is a biocatalyst. So this is about question number 23. Let's go to question number 24, which will never occur during mitosis. So which will never occur during mitosis, we have to find it out. Now, coiling and condensation of chromatids. Coiling and condensation of chromatids to become chromosomes observed in prophase. So in prophase of mitosis, coiling and condensation will happen. This is observed. Spindle fibers are attached to the kinetochores, so which will help the chromosomes to align on the equatorial plate, which happens in mitosis also, which happens in meiosis also. So this is also correct. Spindle fibers are attached to the kinetochores, which help in alignment of chromosomes at the equatorial plate. Now, movement of centrioles towards the opposite poles. So when the spindle fibers contract, the centromere will split and the daughter chromosomes will move towards the opposite poles when it is in anaphase. So movement of centrioles towards the opposite poles. This also happens in mitosis. Condensation, as I told, it happens in prophase. Then attachment and alignment happens in metaphase. Movement of chromosomes towards the poles happens in anaphase. And next one, pairing of homologous chromosomes. Pairing of homologous chromosomes, paternal, maternal chromosomes, they pair together. So this happens only in meiotic division. In prophase 1 of meiosis, pairing of homologous chromosomes will happen. In mitosis, we don't see that, right? So pairing of homologous chromosomes does not occur during mitosis. So answer 4 is correct. Take a screenshot, then we'll proceed with question number 25. Question number 25 from cell division chapter. The appearance of recombination nodule on the homologous chromosomes during meiosis characterizes. So they are telling these are a pair of homologous chromosomes. Appearance of recombination nodule. So this is a recombination nodule among the homologous chromosomes. Appearance of recombination nodule in homologous chromosomes characterizes terminalization. So what is terminalization? If the chromatids are attached at the tips, that is terminalization. They're not attached at the tips, they're attached at the center, right? At the center they're attached. So it is not terminalization. Now next one is synaptonemal complex formation. Synaptonemal complex formation means synapse. Pairing is called as synapse. It's not pairing. After pairing it went to the next stage also. Pairing, after pairing only they'll form the recombination nodule. So it is not synaptonemal complex formation also. Synapse Synaptonymal complex formation means pairing. Pairing of homologous chromosomes is called bivalent or tetrad. So I told it has crossed that stage. So bivalent is also not the thing. Next, I showed you there the place where recombination nodule has been formed. It is the place where crossing over will occur and the exchange between the chromatids will take place. Means it's indicating the site where crossing over will occur. So recombination nodule formation in homologous chromosomes indicates that crossing over will occur there. So then the answer will be 4. That's what solution answer is 4, and this content is there in NCERT page number 168. So my thing is to tell you that each and every question is from NCERT. They are the straight lines of NCERT. So if you study the 2 NCERT textbooks thoroughly, you can easily score 360 out of 360 in biology for NEET. Next question, question number 26. In R6 code, it is question number 152. Now the question is regarding meiosis. Which of the following statement is incorrect? During meiosis, which is incorrect, they are asking. 4 haploid cells are formed at the end of meiosis 2. Meiosis includes meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. At the end of meiosis 1, 2 cells are formed. At the end of meiosis 2, 4 cells are formed. That means this occurs during meiosis. There are 2 stages of meiosis, that is 1 and 2. Yeah, this is also correct. Now DNA replication occurs in the S phase of meiosis 2, they told. Actually, when we see the cell cycle, in the cell cycle we have this much phase as I phase and this is M phase. Now in I phase, first we have to start with G1 phase, then S phase, then G2 phase, then this is M phase. So they are telling DNA replication occurs in S phase. Yes, DNA replication occurs in the S phase only, but see carefully, the S phase is coming under I phase, interphase, but then they are telling it comes under M phase, meiosis 2. So that means this is wrong. Let's see the 4th option also. Pairing of homologous chromosomes and recombination occurs in meiosis 1. Pairing of homologous chromosomes, bivalent formation, tetrad formation, synaptonymal complex formation happens in meiosis 1. It happens in prophase 1 of meiosis 1 is correct. So then they asked which is incorrect. 3rd statement is incorrect because S phase occurs in I phase, it's not in meiosis. Answer, solution answer is 3, and this is there in NCERT page number 169. Then let's go to the 27th question. Select the incorrect statement with reference to mitosis. So they're asking which is wrong with reference to mitosis. Splitting of the centromere occurs in the anaphase. Yes. So in the prophase, what happens? The chromatin gets condensed to chromosome. In metaphase, the chromosomes are aligned on the equatorial plate. In anaphase, the centromere will split and the chromatids, the chromosomes, move towards the poles. Splitting of the centromere occurs in anaphase. Yes, then this is correct. All the chromosomes lie in the equatorial plate in the anaphase. In the metaphase, that's what they told. All the chromosomes lie at the equator in the metaphase. In the metaphase, they are lying on the equatorial plate. This is correct. Now, spindle fibers are attached to the centromere of the chromosomes. If we see the chromosome, this is a chromosome. Now this is the centromere. On either side of centromere, the disc-shaped structure is called kinetochores. To the kinetochore, spindle fibers are attached. Not to the centromere, the spindle fibers. This is a spindle fiber. The spindle fibers are attached to the disc-shaped structures called kinetochore. But here the option says spindle fibers are attached to the centromere. It's wrong, right? Then last option, chromosomes decondense at the telophase. Chromosomes condense in the prophase and they decondense in the telophase is correct. So which is incorrect means option 3 is incorrect, and this is there in page number 164, 165 in NCERT textbook. So these are the questions from cell division. Then the next chapter is transport in plants. Take a screenshot. We'll go with question number 28. Next chapter, chapter number 11, transport in plants. From this chapter, 3 questions came. So the first question is, which of the following is not observed during apoplastic pathway? Symplast and apoplast, there are 2 means of transport. Apoplast is the movement of substances through the spaces, through the dead substances like cell wall and all. Whereas symplast is movement of substances through the cell membrane and within the cytoplasm, which is involving cytoplasmic movement, cytoplasmic streaming, cyclosis, is called as symplast. Apoplast, since it is moving through the gaps and all, since it is not entering the cell, apoplast movement is fast. Whereas symplast movement will be slow because it has to enter it has to cross the cell membrane, it has to cross the cytoplasm, and it has to come out. So they're asking us which of the following is not observed during apoplastic pathway. The first one, apoplast is continuous. Yes, through the gaps it moves, it is continuous and do not provide any barrier for water movement. Cell membrane provides acts as a barrier, but apoplast through the spaces it is going, so it doesn't involve any barrier. Yes, this statement is correct. Movement of water occurs through the intercellular spaces and the cell wall. Movement occurs through the spaces and through the dead layer called cell wall. This is also correct. The movement does not involve crossing the cell membrane. Crossing the cell membrane, the pathway is called symplast. In apoplast, crossing the cell membrane is not required. So this is also correct. The movement is aided by cytoplasmic streaming. Cyclosis, cytoplasm movement is called as cyclosis. So when the apoplast movement is happening through the spaces, then cyclosis or cytoplasmic streaming doesn't occur in apoplast. It occurs in symplast. So this will be the answer, which is not observed in apoplast means cytoplasmic streaming is not observed. Crossing the cell membrane is not observed, and it is we can tell it is a fast process, slow process, it's not observed. So it is there in NCERT page number 184. Next question, question number 29 in R6 code, it is under question number 133. Girdling experiment, removal of the xylem, removal of the phloem is called as girdling experiment. In the chapter, in the last page, in the last para, this information is there. Girdling experiment, a simple experiment called girdling experiment, will help us to tell that phloem helps in food transport. So where is phloem? In vascular bundle, phloem is outside and xylem is centrally located. So carefully we have to leave the xylem part and we have to remove the phloem part. Peripheral part if you remove, the phloem part if you remove, food gets obstructed, food is not transported. Girdling experiment was performed by plant physiologists to identify that the plant tissue through which food is transported. As I told you, this is a straight sentence of NCERT. This is there in page number 192, chapter, last page, last paragraph. Okay. So, girdling experiment is performed by plant pathologists to see that food is transported through phloem. The answer goes as option 3. Now, last question from this chapter, addition of more solutes in a given solution will. Addition of more solutes in a given solution will. Now, what happens to the water potential if the solutes are added? Water potential psi W is equal to psi S plus psi P. Psi P will have a positive sign, solute potential will have a negative sign. Now, if you are increasing the solutes, that's what they told, more and more solutes are added. So, minus sign if you are increasing, then what happens to water potential? Water potential decreases because of the addition of the solutes. So in a glass of water, if you are drinking plain water, so full glass you can drink, but if you have to add 2 spoons of sugar and if you have to drink, then you have to make it little, you have to give little space for addition of the sugar. Means addition of solute will decrease the water concentration, means will decrease the water potential, and it bears a negative sign also. Addition of more solutes in a given solution will not affect the water potential at all, will affect the water potential, raises its water potential or it lowers the water potential. I told you, when you add solutes, water potential decreases. So raising is also wrong. It will lower the water potential. Yes, this is correct. So makes its water potential 0. When the water potential will be 0, when solutes are 0, water potential will be 0. But you are adding more and more solutes. So 4 is also wrong. So the answer for this question is option 3. This content is there in NCERT page number 179. So take a screenshot, then we will discuss with the next chapter, mineral nutrition. Next chapter, chapter number 12, mineral nutrition. From this chapter, 2 questions have been asked. The first question, which of the following produces nitrogen fixation in the roots of alnus plant? In leguminaceae plants, who will help in nitrogen fixation? A bacteria called rhizobium helps in nitrogen fixation, symbiotic nitrogen fixation. Whereas in non-leguminaceae plants like alnus, okay, in the root nodules of alnus plant, Frankia helps in nitrogen fixation. Frankia, which is a cyanobacterial member. So this is there in NCERT page number 202. Okay, and this is a previous year repeated question also. In NEET 2017 paper, this question has been asked. So Beechernichia, Rhizobium, Frankia and Rhodospirillum. Alnus nitrogen fixation is done by a cyanobacteria called Frankia is the answer. Now next question, about 4 elements, their functions they have asked at us match the following question. Manganese, magnesium, boron and iron. So if you see, magnesium acts as an activator for the enzymes of respiration, hexokinase, right? For photosynthetic enzymes and for respiratory enzymes, magnesium is an activator. That means magnesium acts as an activator for the enzymes of respiration. Then next, if you see, iron acts as an activator for the catalase and peroxidase. So iron is an activator for the enzyme catalase and peroxidase. Pollen tube germination will happen in the presence of boron. Then manganese helps in splitting of chlorine, and manganese helps in splitting of water during photosynthesis. So we have to see, like, A should be with 4, B should be with 3, C should be with 2 and D should be with 1. Option 3, the same options are there. This content is there in NCERT page number 196, and this is an NCERT exemplar question as well, right? Now these are the two questions from mineral nutrition chapter. Then coming to the next chapter, chapter 13, photosynthesis. From photosynthesis chapter there are 3 questions which have been asked. Now let's get into the first question. The first question is, which of the following is not true for ATP synthesis through chemiosmosis? In photosynthesis and respiration, ATP synthesis occurs, right? So which is not true related to ATP synthesis, they are asking. First option, they have given reduction of NADP to NADPH2. For photosynthesis, sunlight energy, photon energy is converted to chemical energy like ATP and NADPH2. ATP is a direct source of energy, whereas NADPH2 gets oxidized to NADP in electron transport chain, and when that is oxidized, the protons are released, protons are accumulated, and the protons, when they move from high concentration to low concentration, that generates proton motive force that helps in ATP synthesis. So this is a concept. So during ATP synthesis, NADP is reduced to NADPH2, and this happens in the stroma side of the chloroplast membrane, correct? So ATP synthesis and NADPH2 synthesis occurs on the stroma side of the membrane only. So this is there in NCERT page number 214. There is a diagram, figure number 13.7. There you can clearly see this. The next one, breakdown of the proton gradient. So when NADPH2 later it is oxidized to NADP, so protons are accumulated. Where are they accumulated? In the lumen they are accumulated. And when the protons which have been accumulated in the lumen, when they pass through F0 and F1 from the lumen to the stroma, proton gradient will break, and that proton gradient will help in ATP synthesis. So reduction of proton gradient will happen. Reduction of NADP to NADPH2 will happen. Breakdown of electron gradient. Electrons are not at all involved in chemiosmosis for synthesis of ATP. Protons are involved, electrons are not involved. So this will not occur. Movement of protons across the membrane to the stroma. I told you protons are accumulated in the lumen, and protons will move from the lumen to the stroma via F0 and F1, which helps in ATP synthesis. This will happen. So basically we can tell this question is there in page number 214 of NCERT textbook. This is a diagram based question, figure number 13.7. From there we can derive this. Is there in page number 214. The answer which doesn't happen means breakdown of electron gradient doesn't happen. So this is the first question from photosynthesis chapter. Take a screenshot. We will discuss about the next 2 questions also. The next question from photosynthesis is, there are 2 statements here. They're asking whether 2 statements are right or wrong. Statement 1, the primary carbon dioxide acceptor in C4 plants is PEP, phosphoenol pyruvic acid, and this reaction, carbon dioxide plus PEP, combines to make a 4-carbon acid, malic acid. This happens in the mesophyll cells. That's what they told. The primary carbon dioxide acceptor in C4 plants is PEP, and this reaction happens in the mesophyll cells. Yes, it is correct. Now, the mesophyll cells of C4 plants will lack Rubisco enzyme because the primary carbon dioxide acceptor PEP accepts carbon dioxide and it makes a 4-carbon acid. What is it 4-carbon acid called? It can be either oxaloacetic acid or malic acid. This reaction occurs in the mesophyll cells, and this reaction is mediated by an enzyme called pepcase. Phosphoenol pyruvate carboxylase enzyme will mediate this reaction. So this enzyme will mediate the reaction means Rubisco enzyme is not there in the mesophyll cells of C4 plants. Yes, it is correct. Then where is the Rubisco enzyme present? In the bundle sheath cells, Rubisco enzyme will present. So mesophyll cells lack Rubisco enzyme. This is also correct. That means option 2. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct will be the answer. And where can you locate this content? In NCERT, page number 218, we can see this content, and it's an exemplar question as well. Now coming to the next question from the same chapter, what is the role of large bundle sheath cells in the vascular bundles of the C4 plants? In C4 plants, this is a vascular bundle. Here will be phloem patch, and these are xylem patches. Now the vascular bundles or C4 plants, the vascular bundles or C4 plants are covered by bundle sheath cells, and these bundle sheath cells have thick walls. They have dens of chloroplast. What is the role of large bundle sheath cells surrounding the vascular bundles of the C4 plant? They are asking. To protect the vascular bundle from highlight intensity, vascular bundles are inside, right? So highlight intensity might not reach the innermost region. So this is not. To provide the site of photorespiratory pathway, see, C4 plants are resistant to photorespiration. So that also cannot be the explanation. To increase the number of chloroplasts for the operation of Calvin cycle, I told you the vascular bundles will have many chloroplasts. If the vascular bundle is large, if the bundle sheath cells are large, it can accommodate more chloroplast. If more chloroplasts are there, it can do more photosynthesis. That's why we tell C4 plants are more advanced than C3 plants. So presence of large vascular bundle sheath cells, presence of large bundle sheath cells surrounding the vascular bundles in C4 plants is to increase the number of chloroplasts so that Calvin cycle can operate here. So this will be the answer. So for 35th question, 3 is the answer. We can find this content in NCERT page number 218. Now coming to the next chapter, chapter number 14, respiration. 2 questions have been asked from this chapter. The first question is, what amount of energy is released when the glucose is fermented to lactic acid? So when fermentation happens, fermentation is partial oxidation. In partial oxidation, only 2 ATP molecules will be synthesized. Whereas in complete oxidation, aerobic respiration, 38 molecules of ATP are released. So when glucose is completely oxidized, 38 ATP. When glucose is partially oxidized, 2 ATPs. If you take 38 ATPs as 100%, then for 2 ATP, how much if you calculate, it is less than 7%. We need not calculate. This content is there in NCERT. In the chapter respiration, NCERT page number 230, under the side heading fermentation, this line is there in the second para. Less than 7% of energy is obtained when we do respiration by anaerobic process, by fermentation. Take a screenshot. We'll go to the next question, question number 37. Next question from respiration chapter is, what is the net gain of ATP when each molecule of glucose is converted to pyruvic acid? Glycolysis is a pathway. In glycolysis, glucose, a 6-carbon compound, is broken down to a 3-carbon compound called pyruvic acid. Now when you break anything, energy in terms of ATP is released. So what is the net gain of ATP when one glucose is converted to 2 pyruvic acid? Means 4 ATPs are released when glucose is converted to 2 pyruvic acid molecules, among which 2 ATPs are consumed in the first step and the third step. So net will be 2 only. So what is the net gain of ATP when each molecule of glucose is converted to pyruvic acid? Means the answer will be 2 molecules of ATP, because 4 ATPs are released where in the last reaction, and when phosphoenol pyruvate gets converted to pyruvic acid, there 2 molecules of ATPs are released. 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid, when it becomes 3-phosphoglyceric acid, there also 2 ATP molecules are released. So 2 plus 2, 4. But then first reaction where glucose is converted to glucose 6-phosphate, third reaction where fructose 6-phosphate is converted to fructose 1,6-bisphosphate, 2 ATP molecules are consumed. So 4 minus 2, 2. So you can see this in the glycolysis pathway also. This is there in NCERT page number 229 also. Now coming to the last chapter in plant physiology, that is chapter number 15, plant growth and development, question number 38 in R6 code. It is under question number 110. The question is production of cucumber. So if we want to convert the male cucumber flowers into female cucumber flowers, then what is that hormone we have to spray? The answer is ethylene. Ethylene is a hormone which converts male cucumber flowers into female cucumber flowers. So then the ovaries will be there, we'll get the fruits. So commercially we can use it to increase the yield. What hormone? The answer is ethylene. This is there in the ethylene paragraph which comes in page number 215 NCERT textbook. The second question from the plant growth and development is, which of the following plant do not show plasticity? Plasticity means change in shape according to the environment is called environmental plasticity. Plasticity with the change in the life cycle is called developmental plasticity, which is not an example of plasticity. Cotton, coriander, larkspur, these are examples of plasticity. Buttercup, ranunculus is also example of plasticity, whereas maize is not example of plasticity. Examples of plasticity are cotton, coriander, larkspur and buttercup. These are the 4 examples which they have mentioned in NCERT. What is plasticity? The change in the shape of the plant according to the environment, according to the life cycle is called plasticity. Maize doesn't exhibit plasticity. The next question from plant growth and development is the gaseous plant growth hormone. Out of 5 plant growth regulators, only ethylene is a gaseous plant growth regulator. What is the function of that gaseous plant hormone? They're asking us to pick the thing. Kill dicot weeds in the fields. 2,4-D will kill the weeds. 2,4-D is an auxin. So kill dicot weeds in the fields. 2,4-D will do. It's a function of auxin. It's not ethylene. Now speeds up the malting process. Gibberellin will do. Gibberellic acid will do. It's not the function of ethylene. Promotes root growth and root hair formation is the function of ethylene, the gaseous hormone. And the last one, if you see, helps in overcoming apical dominance. Cytokinin will help in overcoming the apical dominance. So they are asking which is the function of the gaseous hormone. Yeah, 3 is a function. Option 3, it is there in NCERT, page number 250. Now let's go to human physiology. In human physiology, chapter number 16, digestion. From digestion, how many questions have been asked? 3 questions have been asked from digestion. So the first question is question number 41 in R6 code. It's under question number 164. Dehydration reaction. So dehydration reaction means removal of water. When you are removing water, bond is formed between 2 glucose molecules to make a maltose molecule. Dehydration reaction linking 2 glucose molecules, you will get maltose. If the molecular formula of glucose is C6H12O6, if the molecular formula of glucose is a C6H12O6, 2 molecules, again C6H12O6, dehydration reaction, removal of water molecule. Then what is the molecular formula for maltose? They asked 6 and 6, 12, 12 and 12, 24, 6 and 6, 12. So this is the net. In this, remove 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen. Since they told it's dehydration reaction, remove 2 hydrogens, then hydrogen 24 will become 22. Remove 1 oxygen, that means O12 will become O11. So the answer should be C12 H22 O11. C12 H22 O11. Option 4 is the answer. This is there in NCERT in the digestion chapter, page number 264. Take a screenshot. We'll discuss with the other questions also. The next question from digestion chapter, the question is, which of the following functions are not performed by salivary glands? Now, digestion of disaccharides. Salivary glands will produce an enzyme called ptyalin, salivary amylase. Amylase basically digests starch into maltose. Maltose is a disaccharide. Maltose, the disaccharide, is further broken down to glucose and glucose in the intestine, not in the mouth. Means salivary glands cannot digest disaccharide. So, whereas salivary glands will release digestive juice. The digestive juice contains lysozyme enzyme. Salivary juice contains lysozyme enzyme. Lysozyme enzyme will control bacterial population in the mouth. Yes, they can. And salivary juice contains ptyalin, salivary amylase, which breaks complex carbohydrates like starch into maltose. This is also correct. So it contains little bit of mucus which helps in lubrication of the oral cavity. Our mouth will not be dry. It will be lubricated by the salivary juice. All these 3 are correct. Disaccharide digestion happens in the intestine, not in the mouth. So the answer is 1 is there in NCERT page number 262. Next question from the same chapter, digestion, statement 1 and statement 2. Fatty acids and glycerol cannot be absorbed into the blood. Simple sugars are absorbed and amino acids are also absorbed from the intestine. They go off, whereas fatty acids and glycerol cannot be directly taken into the blood. So yeah, this statement is correct. Then Because they cannot be absorbed directly, so special lymphatic capillary, which is called lacteal, the diagram is there in NCERT, lacteal. In the lacteal, fatty acids and glycerol will combine to form chylomicrons, and the chylomicrons are absorbed inside by this lymphatic vessel, and lymphatic vessel give that chylomicron to the blood. This is also correct. Since they cannot be absorbed, so they are picked by lacteal, which is the largest lymphatic vessel, and from there it goes into the blood. So if they give this as assertion and reason, yeah, this is both the assertion and reason are correct, and the reason is a correct explanation for assertion also. But since they have given statement 1 and statement 2, when we discussed, both are correct, so the answer is both are correct. So you can find this content in NCERT page number 265, and this is again an NCERT exemplar question as well. Now coming to the next chapter, breathing and exchange of gases. From breathing and exchange of gases, there are 2 questions. From digestion, there are 3 questions. From breathing and exchange, there are 2 questions. The first question is, which of the following is not the function of the conducting part of the respiratory system? From the nostrils till the bronchioles, that is a conducting part, whereas the alveoli makes the exchange part, which is not the function of the conducting part. Provide surface for diffusion of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Diffusion of oxygen and carbon dioxide occurs at the alveolar membrane, right? Alveolar membrane is not the part of conducting part, it's a part of exchange part. So this is not the function of the conducting part, whereas conducting part will remove the impurities. Yes, it will do. It humidifies. It's an air conditioner, it humidifies, yes. And inhaled air is brought to body temperature. All second, third, fourth functions it will do, but the first function is not the function of the conducting part, it's the function of exchange part. So answer is 1. Then is there in NCERT page number 270. Take a screenshot, then we will look at the next question of this chapter. The next question from breathing and exchange of gases is, under normal physiological conditions, every 100 ml of blood will deliver how much amount of oxygen to the tissues? In NCERT page number 274, they have mentioned that every 100 ml of oxygenated blood will deliver 5 ml of oxygen to the tissues. And in page number 275, they have mentioned that every 100 ml of deoxygenated blood will deliver 4 ml of carbon dioxide. Right? So then 5 ml of oxygen, that means option 3 is correct here. Coming to the next chapter, circulation. There are 2 questions from this chapter. The first question, they have given 2 statements and they're asking the statements are right or wrong. Statement 1, they're telling coagulum means blood clot is formed by the network of threads, and the threads are called thrombins. During blood clotting, the fibers will make a meshwork, and within these fibers blood cells get trapped, and this is what is called blood clot. And then the statement says that these fibers are thrombins. No, they are not thrombins, they are fibrins. So that means statement 1 goes wrong. Statement 2, spleen is a graveyard of RBC. Yes, spleen is a graveyard of RBC. That means in option 1 they told statement 1 is incorrect. Yes, it is incorrect, and statement 2 is correct. This information is there in NCERT page number 279. Coming to the next question of circulation chapter, they asked which is an incorrect statement. Statement 1, first option, increased ventricular pressure. So when the ventricular pressure increases, then what happens? When the ventricular pressure increases, then the tricuspid and bicuspid walls will close and the semilunar walls will open. So increased ventricular pressure causes closing of the semilunar walls. So increased ventricular pressure will cause opening of the semilunar walls. And next option, AV node generates action potential to stimulate atrial contraction. See, AV node generates action potential or SA node generates action potential. It is SA node which generates action potential. Here they mentioned that AV node will generate action potential. So this is wrong. Then third option, bicuspid and tricuspid walls will open due to the pressure exerted by the simultaneous contraction of the atria. When the atria are contracting, then the pressure is exerted on the bicuspid and tricuspid walls, then they open, then the blood from the atria will come to ventricles. Is correct statement. Now, blood moves freely from the atria to ventricles during joint diastole. During atrial relaxation and ventricular dilation, free filling of the blood will happen. So, which is incorrect statement means second is the incorrect statement. This is there in NCERT page number 284 and 285. Take a screenshot. We'll get into the next question. one question from excretion chapter. It's question number 48. Under R6 code, it is in question number 156. So nitrogenous waste in the form of uric acid or pellets is seen in, it is seen in birds, right? So pavo is a bird. Ornithorhynchus, salamander, hippocampus are not the birds. So nitrogenous waste in the form of pellets is seen in uric acid crystals is seen in pavo. So option 1, it is there in NCERT page number 290. Now coming to locomotion and movement, there are two questions from this chapter. The first question is, the interesting point is both the questions are from the disorders content only. Now in physiology, from every chapter, in every chapter the last topic will be the disorders related to that digestive system, circulatory system, excretory system, locomotion, and from disorders only they pick two questions. See here, assertion and reason based question. Osteoporosis, so bone is called osteo, right? Porosis, pores on the bone, is happens when there is decreased bone mass, and when there are holes in the bone there are quite nice chances for the fractures to occur. So assertion is correct only. It's an age related problem. It occurs after menopause in many of the women, and it is due to decrease the levels of estrogen, but then here they have given it is due to increase the levels of estrogen. So assertion is correct, children, but reason is wrong. So then the answer will be 4. Assertion is correct, reason is wrong. This is there, as I told you, in locomotion and movement. Last concept, it is page number 312. The next question from the same chapter, which of the following is correct match the symptom and the disorder? Now coming to the first one, muscular dystrophy. Muscular dystrophy, they told it's an autoimmune disorder. Yeah, muscular dystrophy is an autoimmune disorder. Okay, muscular dystrophy is an autoimmune disorder, or myasthenia gravis is an autoimmune disorder. Muscular dystrophy is not an autoimmune disorder. So this is wrong. Now arthritis, inflammation of joints. Yes, this is correct. Now tetany is because of low levels of calcium, but they have given high levels of calcium. Then this goes wrong. Myasthenia gravis. Myasthenia gravis, as I just now told, it's an autoimmune disorder. So this is also wrong. They asked you which is the correct match. The answer will be 2 then, arthritis, inflammation of the joints. This is also there in NCERT page number 312. Take a screenshot, then we will go to the next chapter, neural control and coordination. There's one question from neural control and another question from chemical coordination and integration. Let us see those questions. 51st question in R6 code, it's in question number 194. They're asking us to select the incorrect statement regarding synapses. So there are two types of synapses basically, chemical synapse and electric synapse. Chemical synapses are through the neurotransmitter called acetylcholine, whereas electrical synapses are just like transmission of charges. Electric synapses are faster, but they are very rare in human body because human body cannot control that much amount of charge. That means electric synapses are fast, chemical synapses are slow. Now here they asked you to select the incorrect statement, and then they told impulse transmission across a chemical synapse is always faster than electric synapse. Just now I told electric synapses are faster than chemical synapse. So this is wrong. Then the membrane of presynaptic and postsynaptic are in close proximity during electric transmission. If the charge has to be transferred, then the presynaptic membrane and the postsynaptic membrane should be close proximity to each other. Then only the charge can go and this charge can go. So this is correct. Now electric current can directly flow from one neuron to the other neuron across the electric synapse. When there's a synapse formed between presynaptic and postsynaptic, electric current directly passes from pre to post. This is also correct. Chemical synapses use neurotransmitters like acetylcholine. This is also correct. Acetylcholine is a neurotransmitter. Now they asked you the incorrect statement. First statement is the incorrect statement. Now this is there in NCERT page number 319. Coming to the last chapter of 11th NCERT, chemical coordination and integration. So from that, related to parathyroid hormone, they asked a question and they're asking which is not the function of parathyroid hormone. So parathyroid hormone, basically it is hypercalcemic hormone, means it increases the calcium levels, right? So parathyroid hormone is hypercalcemic hormone, means it increases the calcium levels in the blood. How can it increase the calcium levels? Means stimulates the process of bone reabsorption. From the bone it reabsorbs the calcium, means it takes off the calcium from the bone, gives it to the blood. Yeah, it will do. It decreases calcium levels in the blood. Just now I told it is hypercalcemic. It will increase the calcium levels in the blood. But the option that told it decreases. No, this is wrong. Reabsorption of calcium from the renal tubules. From the nephrons, it will absorb calcium so that it comes back to the blood again. Then the blood calcium levels will increase. So this is correct. Now next one, decreases the absorption of calcium from the digested food. From the digested food, if it increases the calcium absorption, then it will come to the blood. They told it is decrease, so then it is wrong. Increases metabolism of carbohydrate. See, parathyroid hormone doesn't have any role with organic metabolism, biomolecular metabolism. It has role with inorganic, mineral metabolism, calcium metabolism. So if it is glucocorticoid, it has role in carbohydrate metabolism. If it is insulin glucagon, it has role in carbohydrate metabolism. So parathyroid hormone doesn't have any role in carbohydrate metabolism. So B, D, E are not related to the functions of parathyroid hormone. So the option is 3, which says that B, D, E are not the functions of parathyroid hormone. So answer is 3 is there in NCERT page number 334. Children, with this we finished 11th NCERT. How many questions came from 11th NCERT textbook? 52 questions came from 11th NCERT textbook, and from 12th NCERT the remaining 48 questions we will discuss. Take a screenshot. From 11th NCERT 52 questions came, from 12th NCERT 48 questions came. So the 53rd question here, it is from the first chapter of 12th, that is reproduction in organisms. Identify the asexual reproductive structures of penicillium. It's a fungus. Penicillium fungus forms asexual structures which are called conidia. So this is diagram based question. In NCERT textbook they have given. So these are asexual chain like non-motile exogenous spores present in penicillium. They are called conidia. So this diagram, if you can recollect, is there in NCERT page number 5. It is conidia. Buds are seen in yeast. Zoospores are seen in algae. Gemmules are found in sponges, whereas in fungus, penicillium, the sexual reproductive structures are conidia. Coming to chapter 2, sexual reproduction flowering plants, there are 3 questions. Question number 1, identify the incorrect statement related to pollination. Here they're telling moths and butterflies are the dominating pollinating agents among insects. If you see carefully in NCERT, in page number 30, they have mentioned that moths and bees, not butterflies. So this makes this statement incorrect. It should be bees. Since they gave butterflies, this is wrong. Identify the incorrect statement. This is incorrect statement. That means pollination by water is quite rare in flowering plants. Yes. Hydrophily is quite rare. This is correct. Pollination by wind is common type of abiotic pollination. If water pollination is rare among abiotic, wind pollination is quite common. This is correct. And the flowers produce foul odors to attract flies and beetles to get pollinated. Yes, that's also correct. So the answer is option 1 is there in NCERT page number 30. Coming to question number 55, they have given 2 statements and they're asking the statements are correct or wrong. Statement 1, they're telling cleistogamous flowers are invariably orthogamous. Cleistogamous, closed flowers, they can't open. The only chance for pollination is orthogamy. Correct. Statement 2, cleistogamy is disadvantageous because there's no chance for cross pollination. Yeah, there's no chance for cross pollination, it's disadvantageous only. So statement 1 and 2 both are correct. That means the answer is 2 here, and this content is there in NCERT page number 28. The next question is a diagram based question. It's there in NCERT page number 37, figure number 2.5. It's there in figure number 2.15. They're asking, this is the picture, it's an apple fruit. They're asking, why is it false fruit? Which part made it false fruit? Now in apple, the edible portion is thalamus, it's not the ovary. So if thalamus is edible, then it is false fruit. Where is thalamus here? This part is thalamus, means C should be the answer. Thalamus is the answer. So since thalamus is edible, it's considered as false fruit. Take a screenshot. We'll go to the next chapter, human reproduction. Page number 57 is from human reproduction chapter. The question is, at which stage of life oogenesis is initiated? Oogenesis, formation of egg. The peculiarity is in women, the oogenesis is initiated before she is born, right? So means in the embryonic development itself, the oogenesis starts and it gets paused in prophase. No? So when does the oogenesis initiates? Means it initiates in embryonic development only. So the answer is option 3 is there in NCERT page number 48. Now question number 58. in code number R6, it's under 163. Which of the following statement is true only for spermatogenesis? It should not hold for oogenesis. So then first it results in formation of 4 haploid gametes. Now oogenesis and spermatogenesis, both of them will result in formation of 4 haploid gametes. It should not go with oogenesis, so we cannot pick option A. Now option B, differentiation of gametes occur after the completion of meiosis. So in oogenesis there is no differentiation, but in spermatogenesis there is differentiation of spermatid into spermatozoa, means this is applicable for spermatogenesis. Meiosis occurs continuously in the mitotically dividing stem cells. So as many sperms are formed, as many as possible. That means meiotic division should continuously occur. So this is also applicable only for spermatogenesis. It is controlled by luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone secreted by anterior pituitary. Both spermatogenesis and oogenesis are under the control of these 2 hormones. So since it is matching for oogenesis also, we cannot pick this option. And it is initiated at puberty. Here you see oogenesis is initiated embryonic development. Only spermatogenesis is initiated at puberty. So we can go with E also. So which are correct? B, C, E are correct. B, C, E are correct. So the answer 1, option 1 is correct. This content is there in NCERT page number 48. Next question, they have given 2 statements and they are asking whether they are right or wrong. Choose them. Statement 1, release of sperms from seminiferous tubules is called as spermiation. Release of sperms from seminiferous tubules is called spermiation. Correct. Statement 2, spermiogenesis is the formation of sperms from spermatogonia. Spermiogenesis is release of sperms from the seminiferous tubules. So it is not formation of sperms. So statement 2 is incorrect. 1 is correct. So then option 4, 1 is correct, 2 is incorrect. This is the answer. This is there in NCERT page number 47. Take a screenshot. We'll go to the chapter 4, reproductive health. Next question is question number 60. The question is, Lippi's loop comes under which type of contraceptive? Is it copper releasing IUD, cervical barrier, Walt barrier, or non-medicated IUD? See, for copper releasing IUD, example is multilode 375. Cervical caps, diaphragms are examples of cervical barriers. Walt is example of Walt barrier, or Walt also can be taken as cervical barrier itself. Non-medicated IUD example is Lippi's loop. So the answer for question number 60 is 4. This content has been mentioned in NCERT page number 60. Now coming to the next question from the same chapter, it's match the following type of question. Diaphragm, contraceptive pills, IUDs and lactational amenorrhea. So diaphragms, just now we discussed, right? Diaphragms, what do? They cover the cervix. They cover the cervix and block the entry of the sperms. Means A is with 4. And next one is contraceptive pills. Contraceptive pills, what do? They inhibit ovulation and implantation, right? They inhibit ovulation and implantation, contraceptive pills. Intrauterine devices. Intrauterine devices, if you insert a device inside the uterus, they increase phagocytosis. They eat of the sperms and make the cervix hostile for the sperm entry. So IUD increases phagocytosis, it should go. Then lactational amenorrhea. During the intense period of lactation, after parturition, during the intense period of lactation from 6 months, maximum 6 months to 1 year, when the menstrual cycle is not happening, so ovulation will not happen. So lactational amenorrhea is absence of menstrual cycle and ovulation followed by parturition is the answer. So we need to check which options are matching with these things. The answer is 3. So A is with 4, B is with 1, and C is with 2, and D is with 3. So this content is there in NCERT page number 61. Coming to the next chapter, principles of inheritance and variation. How many questions came from this chapter? Means 6 questions came from this chapter, means it is a high weightage chapter. Let us discuss one by one. The first question what they have asked is, X0 type of sex determination is seen in which organisms? X0 type of sex determination is the first type of sex determination which has been worked out by worked out in grasshopper, right? By Collins. So X0 type of sex determination is seen in grasshoppers. Answer will be grasshopper. In birds, it is ZZ and ZW type of sex determination. In Drosophila and monkeys, it will be XX and XY type of sex determination. So Drosophila and monkeys have like our sex determination, that's XX and XY. Birds will have ZZ and ZW. Grasshopper will have XX and X0 type of sex determination. So answer is 4, and this is there in NCERT page number 85. Coming to question number 63, it is a statement based question. They have given two statements. The statement 1 says Mendel studied 7 pairs of characters to propose the laws of inheritance. Correct. Mendel studied 7 pairs of characters in the pea plant to propose the laws of inheritance. So statement 1 is correct. The 7 pairs of characters studied by Mendel are stem height, yes, flower color and flower position, pod color and pod shape, seed color and seed shape. So these are the 7 characters. There's a tabular form also in NCERT textbook. In page number 70, these are the 7 characters. So both the statements are correct. That means the answer is 2. Statement 1 and statement 2 both are correct. So this is there in NCERT page number 17, and this is NCERT exemplar question also. So in the starting of the video itself, I told there are 8 questions in 2022 which have been asked from NCERT exemplar, and I've been pointing out like this question is exemplar, this question is exemplar. You can check it in the exemplar textbook. So take a screenshot. Next question is, which of the following is an autosomal dominant disorder? They are asking, is it thalassemia, sickle cell anemia, myotonic dystrophy, or hemophilia? Like coming to thalassemia, it is autosomal recessive. Thalassemia is example for autosomal recessive. Sickle cell anemia is also example of autosomal recessive. Hemophilia is example of X-linked recessive. Now we are left with only one. Myotonic dystrophy is an example for autosomal dominant. So the answer is option 3 is there in NCERT page number 88. The next question is assertion reason based question. Assertion is Mendel's laws of independent assortment does not hold good for the genes that are located on the same chromosome. If the genes are on the same chromosome, then they will be called as linked genes. If they are linked genes, then they don't separate. They try to be together. That means they don't assort independently. So if they are Mendel law of independent assortment does not hold good for the genes located on the same chromosome. Assertion is correct. Reason: closely located genes assort independently. Closely located genes, so these is a pair of homologous chromosome. So R and Y, shape and color, if they are present on the same chromosome and if they are closely located, do they assort independently or they move together? They don't separate. They don't separate. That means reason is wrong. So we have to check the answer. Assertion is correct, reason is not correct. So answer 4, option 4 is answer, is there in NCERT page number 83, and this is again an NCERT exemplar question. Now coming to the next question, the recombination frequency between the genes, they have given A, B, C, D, E, 5 genes are there. So A, B, C, D, 4 genes are there. They told the distance between A and C is 5%, B and C is 15%, B and D is 9%, A and B is 20%, C and D is 24%, and set the sequence, arrange the sequence they have given. So whether this will be the sequence or this will be the sequence, this and this, we need to work out. Let us take the first sequence, A, C, D, B. So I am taking a sequence which is A, C, D, B. They told A and C the distance is 5. B and C, yeah, A, C, B, D they have given. A and C is 5, B and C is 15, B and C is 15, B and D is 9, B and D is 9. Then A and B is 20%, A to B is 20%. Let's just check. 5 plus 15, 20, yeah, this is correct. And C and D is 24%. This is C and D is 24 they have given. 15 plus 9, yes, it is 24. Means we got the first option itself is correct. If this is wrong, I would have went to the next one and I would check this order. So the first option itself, what they have given, we are able to manage. So the order is A, C, B, D. So this is not directly NCERT based. This is concept oriented question. Then coming to the next question. So here, this is a pedigree based question. They told if a colorblind female marries a man whose mother is also colorblind, then what are the chances of her children to be colorblind? Now let us work out drawing a pedigree here. They told the colorblind female is colorblind, married a male whose mother was colorblind, right? His mother was colorblind. So colorblindness is an example for X-linked recessive. So X-linked recessive means, so she is having XC colorblindness, and his mother is also having XC. Father will have normal X and Y. So he will get Y chromosome from the father. From the mother, he will get XC. That means father is also colorblind. Means they did not tell that in the question, but then when we are checking the probability, a female who is colorblind married a male whose mother was colorblind, means since this boy took XC from the mother, he is also colorblind. That means here if you see, mother is colorblind, father is also colorblind. Then what proportion of their children will have colorblindness? 2 daughters and 2 sons. Father will give Y chromosome to the sons, and these sons will carry X chromosome from the mother, XC and XC. See, colorblindness gene is there. That means the sons are colorblind. Then coming to the case of daughters will receive XC from the father, and they will also receive XC from the mother. So means all the children, irrespective girls and boys, all are colorblind. That means I think the answer should go with 100%. Yeah, where is 100%? This is the answer. Solution option 1. This is pedigree based question. It's there in NCERT page number 90. With this we finish the questions from chapter 5. Take a screenshot. We'll go into the next chapter, chapter number 6, molecular basis. The next question, question number 68, it is DNA polymorphisms forms the basis of. This DNA polymorphism, you can see it in DNA fingerprinting and human genome sequencing. So under human genome sequencing, they have given that DNA polymorphism is the basis for genetic mapping and physical mapping. They told after sequencing, the other challenging task for the scientist is to locate the genetic mapping and physical mapping, and DNA polymorphism forms the basis for this. This is the sentence exactly which is there in NCERT in page number 121. Means the answer will be for both genetic mapping and physical mapping. Next question, choose the correct set of statements. A, B, C, D, E. We need to pick how many are correct. Euchromatin is loosely packed. Now euchromatin, true chromatin will be loosely packed and it will be transcriptionally active, whereas heterochromatin will be densely packed and it will be transcriptionally inactive. Euchromatin is loosely packed. Yes, it is correct. Heterochromatin is transcriptionally inactive, but they gave active. Wrong. Histone octamer is wrapped by negatively charged DNA. DNA has phosphoric acid. It is negatively charged in nucleosome. Correct. So histones are rich in lysine and arginine. Histones have positive charges. They are rich in basic amino acids like lysine and arginine. Correct. A typical nucleosome contains 200 base pairs, but they told it is 400 base pairs. So 400 base pairs make this wrong. Active makes this wrong. So A, C, D are correct. So A, C, D means option 3 is correct. This is there in NCERT page number 99. Coming to the next question, the process of translation, protein synthesis starts. Process of translation means mRNA to protein begins. When does it begin? So when the smaller subunit of ribosome comes and binds to mRNA, then the process of translation will start. So they told larger subunit meets the mRNA. No, I just now told the smaller subunit. So smaller subunit encounters the mRNA. Correct. Larger subunit encounters the mRNA. No. Both the subunits encounter the mRNA. No. So I am going with smaller subunit. When it meets the mRNA, the process of translation begins. So then answer will be 2. This is there in NCERT page number 115, and this is NCERT exemplar question. Then coming to the next question, the last question from this chapter. Now there are 2 methods for human genome sequencing. One is called sequence annotation, other one is called expressed sequence tags. In express sequence tag, only that part of RNA has been sequenced which codes for a protein. The expressed RNAs, expressed DNAs are being coded. That's expressed sequence tag. The second approach is called sequence annotation, which is a blind approach. So irrespective whether the gene is important or not important, whether it codes or it doesn't code, we follow a blind approach and we do the sequencing from the first base to the last base, from alphabet A to alphabet Z. That is called sequence annotation. That's a question here. So blind approach method, what is that called? That is sequence annotation. So bioinformatics is a new era of science. Bioinformatics is a new science which have been designed to do human genome project. And these 2 are the methods. Gene mapping, we have done A, C, B, D. That is a gene mapping location. So these are the questions from the next question, question number 72. It's on lagoperon. in an E. coli, I gene is a repressor gene. It codes for a repressor protein. The repressor protein has attraction for operator and it will block the operator. If inducer lactose is there, lactose comes and binds with repressor, makes the repressor inactive, then it can't bind to operator. That's the concept. Now here in the E. coli, I gene got mutated and the product cannot bind to inducer. So in olagoperon, this is I gene, promoter and operator. This I gene got mutated. The product of this I gene, the repressor protein which is mutated, it is not able to bind to inducer. It is not able to bind to inducer. Means if inducer comes, then the repressor protein will become inactive. But the inducer is not able to bind to repressor protein, means the repressor protein is active, means the repressor protein will be active. If it is active, it goes and binds to operator. When it goes and binds to operator, then the operator is blocked. When the operator is blocked, then the transcription of ZYA genes will not occur. No transcription of Z, Y and A genes. This is the concept. So I gene will code for a repressor protein and that repressor protein goes and binds to the operator, blocks the operator. If inducer comes and binds to repressor, then the repressor protein cannot bind to operator. But the mutated I gene produced a mutated repressor protein which cannot bind to inducer. If it cannot bind to inducer, that means the repressor will bind to operator. When it binds to operator, ZYA genes will not be transcribed. So the answer, ZYA genes will not be translated, or ZYA genes will get transcribed only, will not be transcribed. So the option 4 will be the correct answer. Next question. If the length of the DNA is 1.1 meters, now what number of base pairs will be there? So in NCERT, page number 99, they have given, so 6.6 into 10 power 9 bases. If you calculate, then it is 2.2 meters they have given. Now it is half, it's not 2.2 meters, it is 1.1 meters. That means it is 6.6 into 10 power 9 if it gives 2.2 meters. 6.6 into 10 power 9, if it is 2.2 meters, 1.1 meter is how much? It will be exactly half of this. Means 3.3 into 10 power 9 meters will be the answer. 3.3 into 10 power 9 will be the answer. So option 2. This way also we can calculate, or raise per base pair we can take that on and also we can calculate. Next question is, E. coli cells are grown in N15 medium, heavy medium. After that they are subjected to light medium, N14 medium. After 60 minutes, how many E. coli cells they have taken? E. coli cells only after 60 minutes. After 60 minutes, how many E. coli cells will be free of N15 they are telling. Take an E. coli cell. This E. coli cell is having 15 and 15. Now when you culture it in N14 medium, so in 20 minutes what happens? These are 15s and the other twos will be 14. This is for 20 minutes. Now if you go for 40 minutes, in 40 minutes these two cells will become 4 cells. Only 2 cells will have 15 each. All others will be 14. I am using blue color to represent 14. 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14. Now at 60 minutes if you see, 4 will become 8. 4 bacteria will become 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. In that only this cell and this cell will have 15. Black is for 15. Rest all cells will be with 14 only because you are culturing them in N14 medium. Yes. So now the question is 10 E. coli cells they have given. I forgot to write here. 10 E. coli cells. If you take one E. coli cell and if you calculate at 60 minutes how many cells are, after 60 minutes how many cells are free of N15? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 E. coli cells are free of N15. They are having only 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14. If you take one cell, you are getting 6. But the question is 10 cells. So 10 into 6, 60. The answer is 60 cells. Okay, take a screenshot. We'll continue. Now questions from chapter number 7, evolution. There are 2 questions from this chapter. First question, natural selection where more individuals acquire specific value other than the mean character value leads to. Now we need to recollect this diagram. Now if more individuals acquire the mean value, this is the mean value. Such a selection is called stabilizing selection. But then the question here is they asked the characters where the individuals are acquiring more, they're acquiring the value other than the mean value. That means they're not acquiring this value. They're acquiring the value other than the mean value means the peak moves towards one direction. So it's called directional. The other one will be there where the population will acquire the values on either sides, that is disruptive. Now here from the question, if you see they're acquiring a value other than the mean value means it should be directional selection. That's what the answer is 3. It's there in NCERT page number 136 and 137. Next question, which of the following statement is not true? They're asking you which is not true, right? So flippers of penguins and dolphins are homologous organs. Flippers of penguins and dolphins are examples of analogous organs, right? So they told homologous organs. So this is not true. Analogy represents convergent evolution. Homology represents divergent. Analogy represents convergent. This is correct. Potato and sweet potato are examples of analogy because potato is stem, sweet potato is root. Origin is different but function is same. They store the food. So it represents analogy. Correct. Now, homology indicates common ancestry. Analogy indicates different ancestry and homology indicates common ancestry. This is also correct. Since they asked us to find out which is not true, flippers of penguin and dolphin are examples of analogous organs. They told homologous, that is wrong. So answer 1 is there in NCERT page number 131. Next, coming to the next chapter, chapter number 8, human health and diseases. This is statement 1 and statement 2. In statement 1, they have given autoimmune disorders are those disorders where our immune system, our defense system is unable to identify our cells and it will attack our cells itself. Means it recognizes our cells as foreign particles. That's what they have given. So this is correct. Statement 2, rheumatoid arthritis is a condition. Rheumatoid arthritis is an example for autoimmune disorder and they have mentioned it in page number 153. But here they're telling rheumatoid arthritis is a type of disorder where the body will not attack cells. If rheumatoid arthritis is an example of autoimmune disorder, then the cells are being attacked. So statement 2 goes wrong. So statement 1 is correct, 2 is wrong. So the answer is option 4 is there in page number 153. The next question, question number 78, select the incorrect statement with respect to acquired immunity. Now, first option, it's a type of non-specific immunity. Acquired immunity is specific immunity. Innate immunity is non-specific immunity. It is a type of non-specific immunity. No, this is wrong. And it's present at the time of birth. No, it's acquired during the lifetime. So, first statement is absolutely wrong. In acquired immunity, primary response is produced when the body encounters the pathogen for the first time. Yes, it is correct. An amnestic response is the response when the body encounters the antigen for the subsequent time. Secondary immune response is called an amnestic response. It's the response when the body sees the antigen for the second time and it is fast. An amnestic response, the secondary response is fast because it's based on the memory. Memory cells are there. Memory cells will directly produce the antibodies. So this is also correct. They asked which is incorrect. So option 1 will be the answer. This is there in NCERT page number 151. Coming to next chapter, strategies. Only one question has been asked in this chapter, strategies for enhancement of food production. They told cultivation of crops for healthier fats, for high protein, high vitamins and high minerals. What is that technique called? Is it bioaccumulation? biomagnification, bioremediation, or biofortification. So you're fortifying, you're enriching the values in the food. So the answer will be biofortification. Bioremediation is to clean the environment. Bioaccumulation is accumulation of toxic materials. Biomagnification also is type of bioaccumulation only. So the answer for this one is option 4, biofortification. Is there in NCERT, page number 176. Next, from microbes in human welfare chapter also only one question has been asked. They asked immunosuppressive molecule. Immunosuppressive molecule is produced from which microorganism? Saccharomyces cerevisiae, yeast. It is used as baking industry and brewing industry. Clostridium butyricum produces butyric acid, which is a chemical. Then Trichoderma polysporum produces immunosuppressive agent. So this is the answer. Aspergillus niger produces citric acid. Coming to the next chapter, biotechnology principles and process. Now in this chapter, question number 81, assertion reason. Assertion, PCR is DNA amplification technique. Yes, PCR is gene amplification technique. It's in vitro multiplication. Correct. Reason. Now ampicillin resistant gene is used to check transformation. In plasmid PBR, tetracycline resistant gene marker and ampicillin resistant gene marker will be there. They help in selection and screening of recombinants for transformants. Now then they told ampicillin gene is used to check transformation. This is also correct, but there's no this is not explaining this, or this is not explaining this. So we have to go with both. Assertion, reason are correct, but reason is not the correct explanation. So option 3 is correct, and this is there in NCERT page number 202. Take a screenshot. We will continue. Question number 82 is also from Biotechnology Principles and Process chapter. The question is, which of the following statement is true for gel electrophoresis? Which is not true for gel electrophoresis, they have asked. Now let us see. First option, bright orange color bands of DNA are observed in UV light. Now we need to stain the DNA with ethidium bromide, and ethidium bromide is a fluorescent stain which gives bright orange color bands. Yes, this is correct. Now the process of extraction of DNA from the gel is called elution. Elution is a technique where we extract the DNA from the gel. So this is also correct. Separated DNA fragments should be stained with ethidium bromide. Just now I told it is a fluorescent stain. It gives orange color bands when we view it under ultraviolet light. This is also correct. Presence of chromogenic substrate gives blue colored DNA bands. No, it doesn't give blue color bands. It gives orange color bands. Excuse me. So not true. Fourth option is not true. This is there in NCERT page number 178. Then next question, question number 83 in code number R6. It's under question number 145. So they are asking us identify the correct palindromic sequence which can be cut by restriction enzyme. Right? If you see, palindromic sequence means from this side and this side it should be the same sequence. For example, madam, M-A-D-A-M, M-A-D-A-M is a palindrome. In NCERT, they have given Malayalam word as a palindrome. From this side also it's Malayalam, from this side also it's Malayalam. For DNA sequences, the palindromic sequences are, if it is G-T-A-T-T-C, this side also it should be G-T-A, but it is G-A-A. So this is not a palindromic sequence. Another sequence, C-T-C. Here from this side also it should C-T-C. It's not. So this is also wrong. Now next one, G-A-T-A-C-T. So this side also it should start with G-A-T. It's not starting. So this is also wrong. Come to this sequence. It is G-A-A-T-T-C. Other side also it is G-A-A-T-T-C. 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 This is the palindromic sequence. Answer is option 3. Is there in NCERT page number 197. Coming to the next question, it's a statement based question. Statement 1, restriction enzymes recognize a specific sequence to cut the DNA, and those sequences are called palindromic sequences. Just now you can see here, this is called palindromic sequence which is identified by restriction enzymes. Statement 1 is correct, children. Statement 2, restriction enzymes cut the DNA slightly away from the center of the palindromic sequence is correct. After recognizing the palindromic sequence, it will cut the DNA slightly away from the center. The center point is this. It doesn't cut the DNA here. It cuts the DNA slightly away from the center. Away from the center means between G and A here, and between G and A it cuts. So restriction enzymes cut the DNA slightly away from the center of the palindromic sequence. So this is also correct. So answer should be statement 1 and 2 both are correct. This is there in NCERT, page number 197, and this is a previous year repeated question. Came in NEET 2020 examination also. Take a screenshot, then we'll discuss to question number 85. Next question, question number 85, they asked which is not a desirable feature of a cloning vector. Presence of 2 or more recognition sites. For each enzyme, the vector should have only one recognition site so that the process will not get complicated. For example, if we take this as a PBR vector, in this PBR vector, this is ampicillin resistant gene marker. Here is tetracycline resistant gene marker. It has 2 restriction sites, PVU1 and PST1. Here it has BAMH1 and SAL1. Here it has EcoR1, HindThru and CLAV1. So like that, for each restriction enzyme, a vector will have only one recognition site. Presence of 2 or more sites make the process complicated. So this is not a desirable feature. So presence of origin of replication, yes, vector has ORI site is required. Presence of marker genes, ampicillin resistance is one marker, tetracycline resistance is another marker is required. Presence of single restriction site for an enzyme, that's what I told. For PVU1 there's only one site, for PST1 there's only one site, that is required. This content is there in NCERT, page number 199. Coming to the next chapter, chapter 12, biotechnology applications. Question number 86 in code number R6, it is in question number 148. Transposons, jumping genes, mobile genetic elements are used for gene silencing. We call RNA interference technology. There we have used transposons or jumping genes, right? So transposons can be used in gene silencing is the answer. Now means option 3 is there in NCERT, page number 209. It comes under RNA interference technology. It comes under RNA interference technology. Gene silencing. Next, question number 87. The question is, in gene therapy, there is a disorder called severe combined immunodeficiency disorder. So the person will get this deficiency because there's a defect in a gene which codes for an enzyme called adenosine deaminase. Now in gene therapy, what we do is we take the lymphocytes from an infected person, we culture those lymphocytes, and into those cultured lymphocytes we will send a healthy ADA gene through a retrovirus, and then these genetically engineered lymphocytes are given back to the person. But then periodic infusions, means after a month or 2 months the person should go again should take the genetically engineered lymphocytes. Why they're asking us here? Because the lymphocytes are mortal cells, they die after some time. So again, after they are dead, again we have to take fresh genetically engineered lymphocytes. So why should we take? Means genetically engineered lymphocytes are not immortal, they will die off. That is the reason. The other options are explaining the process, but it's not explaining why we have to take periodic infusions. This is there in NCERT, page number 211. Take a screenshot. We'll go to the next question. Next question, question number 88. Identify the correct statement related to genetic engineered insulin. So all the statements are correct, but we need to pick the statements which are with reference to genetic engineered insulin only. Now, pro-hormone insulin contains an extra stretch of C-peptide. Yes. So a pro-hormone contains an extra chain of C-peptide. So this is A chain, this is B chain. They are connected by extra chain C-peptide. So this is correct. A and B peptides are synthesized separately in separate cells, separate E. coli cells with separate vectors, and then they are joined by disulfide bonds. So we will split this off and we will join them by disulfide bonds. So this is also correct. Insulin used for treating diabetes was extracted from cattle and pig. So that is called as bovine insulin and porcine insulin. It's not related to genetically engineered insulin. Proinsulin need to be processed for converting into functional insulin. Yeah, we discussed that it contains a C peptide and this should be processed and removed off. This is also correct. Some patients develop allergic reactions for foreign insulin if it is a bovine insulin from cattle and if it is from porcine insulin from pigs. For that it will develop allergic reactions, but not for genetically engineered insulin humalin. So this is not applicable for human insulin. So A, B, D are correct. A, B, D are correct. So option 2 is correct. This content is there in NCERT page number 210. Coming to the next chapter, organisms and population. From organisms and population, 3 questions have been being asked. Let's go to the first question. Question number 89. Which of the following statements cannot be connected to predation? Predation, where the predator preys on the predator, eats the prey. It is necessitated by the nature to maintain ecological balance. When the predator is not there, prey population will increase. So nature will keep predation to maintain the balance. It helps to maintain species diversity in a community. The predator will eat and it will maintain the species diversity at a balance. It might lead to extinction of the species. If the predator overgrazes, then it might eat of all the prey, then it might lead to extinction also. In predation, both the interacting species will bear a negative sign. They're telling no, predator is getting positive impact, predator is filling its stomach. So positive for predator, but prey is being killed off. Negative for prey. So both negative, this is wrong. They asked you which is not, which cannot. So option 4 cannot be correct for predation. So this is there in NCERT page number 233. Coming to the next question, question number 90. Which of the following interactions where one species can be given positive sign and another species is given negative sign? In competition, both of them will give negative and negative signs. In predation only, here only we discussed, for one will give positive sign, for other will give negative sign. For amensalism, will give one negative and one zero, neutral. For commensalism, we give one positive and other one is neutral. So they asked for which will give one positive and one negative. Answer is again predation. This is there in NCERT table, page number 232. If you see, in which way they are making the questions means from a chapter, if they are holding a concept, a particular topic, in that topic only they are making n number of questions, so that if you are not thorough in one concept, you might lose all the questions from that chapter. So be thorough, be clear, they are checking your accuracy. Randomly they are not picking questions from this part of the chapter, this part of the chapter, this part of the chapter. So in a chapter, from one common concept itself, they are making all questions. This is also on predation, this is also on predation only. Take a screenshot, we'll discuss. Yes, there are 80 Drosophilas in a lab, and in a week 8 Drosophilas died. They are asking us to calculate the death rate. The formula for calculating the death rate is number of Drosophilas which have been died by total number. So 8 by 80, if you do, it is 1 by 10, means it is 0.1. So the death rate is 0.1. 0.1 is here, so the answer will be option 2. This is there in NCERT page number 227. They have given same Drosophila, they have given 4 by 40. 4 died in 40. Here they doubled it and 8 died in 80. So it is 0.1. There also it is 0.1, here also it is 0.1. Now coming to the next chapter, ecosystem. So there are 2 questions from this chapter, ecosystem. The first question, statement based question. Statement 1, decomposition is a process in which detritus is degraded into simpler substances by microorganisms. Decomposition, there are 4 or 5 steps in ecosystem. What is that? Productivity, the next one is nutrient cycling, decomposition, energy flow, like that. When we come to decomposition, so in decomposition it's a process in which detritus is degraded into simpler substances by microorganisms. So this is correct. Now next one, decomposition is faster if the detritus is rich in lignin and chitin. Decomposition is faster if it is rich in nitrogen containing substances and water soluble substances, and if the temperature is warm. If they are having lignin and chitin, the decomposition rate will be slow. That means statement 1 is correct, 2 is incorrect. So answer should be 4 is there in page number 243. Coming to the next question, question number 93. Which of the following will accelerate the phosphorus cycle? I told the steps of ecosystem. Productivity is one step, nutrient cycling, then energy flow. In nutrient cycling, phosphorus cycle, carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, all these cycles will come. So which of these will accelerate the phosphorus cycle? Now phosphorus comes under sedimentary cycle. For sedimentary cycle, like rock is a reservoir. When we break the rock, that's called weathering of the rock, then phosphorus will come into the soil, which will be taken by the plant. From the plant it goes to animals. So which can accelerate means weathering of rock will be the answer. It is there in NCERT page number 254, children. soon. Coming to the next question, detrivores. Earthworm, it comes under detrivore. Detrivore will take the detritus and break it into smaller particles. This process is called, it will chew and it will break it into smaller process. It's not an enzymatic process. So because it's doing physical process, it's called fragmentation. Answer is option 3. Fragmentation is there in NCERT page number 243. Coming to chapter 14, biodiversity. So in biodiversity, the first question number 95, which of the following is not a method of ex situ conservation? Conserving the organisms under natural conditions is in situ. Conserving them outside their natural conditions is called ex situ. Cryopreservation, lyophilization, storing the sample in liquid nitrogen for years together is ex situ conservation. IVF ET is ex situ conservation. Whereas micropropagation is also ex situ conservation. National parks comes under in situ conservation, which is not ex situ. National park is not ex situ. This is there at the ending of the chapter. Answer is 3 is there in NCERT page number 267. Take a screenshot. We'll discuss question number 96. Next question number 96. Habitat loss, fragmentation, alien species inversion and overexploitation. This is called evil quadrant. All of them come under natality, population explosion, competition or biodiversity loss. Just now I told all these 4 come under evil quadrant, which are responsible for biodiversity loss. So the answer will be option 4. This is there in NCERT page number 264. Question number 97, they're talking about in situ conservation. I told from a chapter they're picking a concept and all the questions are coming from that concept only. Earlier we saw which is not an ex situ conservation. Now they're telling what is in situ conservation. Conserving the organisms under their natural conditions is called in situ conservation. Will you conserve only extinct species, or will you conserve only endangered species or threatened species, or will conserve all the organisms? Conserve whole ecosystem will be the answer. Now question number 98 is from environmental issues. So there are 3 questions from environmental issues. Coming to 98th question, the device which removes particulate matter. Electrostatic precipitator will remove particulate matter. Gaseous substances are removed by scrubber. So the answer will be electrostatic precipitator. Is there in NCERT page number 271, and this is previous year repeated question also. Now question number 99. In Delhi, all the buses are converted to CNG. With reference to this, pick the false statement they are asking. So it cannot be adulterated like diesel. Yes, diesel is adulterated, but gas cannot be adulterated. Gas burns more efficiently than diesel is also correct. Same diesel engine can be used by CNG buses also to make the cost low or effective. How it is possible? So this is not. This is false statement. It is cheaper than diesel. Yes, gas is cheaper than diesel. So the answer will be 3. This is there in NCERT page number 272. The last question number 100 is statement based question. First statement they told, in scrubber, the exhaust from the thermal plant passes through the electrical wires to charge the dust particles. So in the scrubber, it will be like a chimney type, dome type device where we'll sprinkle lime or water, right? So this thing what they're telling, this setup what they're telling is for electrostatic precipitator, but then they're telling it is scrubber. So this is wrong. Statement 1 is wrong. Statement 2, particulate matter. Particulate matter is removed by electrostatic precipitator. Particulate matter of 2.2 microns, 2.5 microns can be removed by scrubber, but cannot be removed by scrubber, but can be removed by electrostatic precipitator. This is correct. Particulate matter is removed by electrostatic precipitator. Only gaseous particles can be removed by scrubber. So this is correct. 1 is wrong, 2 is correct. 1 is wrong, 2 is correct. So answer is 1. This is there in NCERT page number 271. So with this we completed the analysis of 2022 NEET examination, and as I told you, I showed you all the questions including the page numbers. I showed you whether they are previous questions or not, whether they are exemplar questions or not, and we have also seen like the repeated questions are from the same concept from the chapter. So prepare well and get ready for NEET 2023 examination. All the best. Meet you soon.